The warmth of the cafe embraced me, shielding us from the chilly outside air. It was the perfect spot for two best friends to spill secrets over steaming mugs of coffee. But today, something was off. Emma sighed. Honestly, I don't even know why I came out today. I should have just stayed home. I raised an eyebrow, sipping my cappuccino. You've been acting weird lately. What's going on? Emma tried to deflect, laughing nervously. It's just work stuff, you know? I wasn't convinced. You've never let work get to you this much before. She sighed, her gaze darting to her phone every few seconds. It vibrated constantly, but she ignored it, seemingly trying to distance herself from whatever notifications were coming in. Emma, seriously, what's going on? She avoided my eyes. It's nothing, Lisa, just some personal stuff. Before I could probe further, she excused herself to the restroom. Her phone buzzed again, this time lighting up with a preview of a text message. I know it's wrong to pry, but the text flashed an image that looked concerning, curiosity getting the better of me. I leaned in for a closer look. The image was compromising, showing Emma in a situation I knew she'd never want public. The accompanying message read, "Pay up or everyone sees this." My heart raced. Blackmail? Who would do this to Emma? She returned from the restroom, her face pale when she saw the open message on her phone. You saw? I nodded, unable to find my voice. After a moment, I managed, "Who's doing this to you?" Tears filled Emma's eyes. I don't know, Lisa. I'm scared. Pulling her into a comforting hug, I whispered, "We'll figure this out, I promise." She pulled away, wiping her tears. It started a week ago. Random messages, all asking for money. If I don't pay, they threaten to release. Well, you saw. A burning anger built inside me. We're going to the police. She shook her head. I can't. You saw the picture. It's so embarrassing. I can't let anyone else see that. I paused, considering our options. Okay, but we need a plan. Nodding, Emma sighed. I just want this nightmare to end. We decided to spend the rest of the day trying to track down this anonymous blackmailer, both determined to put an end to Emma's torment. As soon as I reached my apartment, I felt a mix of anxiety and determination. My mind raced, trying to piece together any clue that could lead to Emma's blackmailer. I threw my keys on the counter and made a beeline for my room. As I rummaged through some old things, trying to find anything that might be helpful, my mind wandered to Mike, my tech-savvy younger brother. I remembered him always locked away in his room, glued to his screens, sometimes talking about how easy it was to get into other people's systems. It was just casual talk. Or so I thought. Could he possibly know about these kinds of operations? While I hated the idea of invading his privacy, Emma's well-being was at stake. I waited for an opportunity when Mike wasn't home, and after ensuring no one was around, I cautiously entered his room. The faint glow from multiple monitors welcomed me, revealing a world I was unfamiliar with. With a deep breath, I began to search. Within minutes, my eyes caught a folder named Operations. A bit too on the nose, I thought, clicking on it. What I found was shocking. A detailed list of people, including Emma, along with their compromising photos and amounts they needed to pay. Lisa? What are you doing in my room? I nearly jumped out of my skin. Mike stood in the doorway, looking far too calm for someone who'd just been caught. Is this your doing? Are you blackmailing Emma? He smirked. And what if I am? The nonchalance in his voice infuriated me. Why, Mike? She's my best friend. What the hell is wrong with you? Shrugging, he sat on his bed. I needed the money. You know about my debts. That doesn't justify this. Blackmail? Seriously? Stay out of it, Lisa, he warned, his voice dropping several degrees colder. It's just business. Business? I echoed, disbelief clear in my tone. This is our family, Mike. And Emma. She's like family too. How could you? He scoffed. This world is eat or be eaten. I'm just trying to survive. You're ruining lives. He stood up, a challenge clear in his eyes. I said, stay out of it. For a moment, we stared each other down, the tension palpable. But as quickly as the anger had risen, it dissipated. I felt defeated, overwhelmed by the gravity of the situation. Leaving Mike's room, my thoughts were a whirlwind. How had things come to this? My own brother, a blackmailer? And what was I going to do now? The weight of Mike's betrayal weighed heavily on me. But sitting around doing nothing wasn't an option. Emma and I had to act fast, and with a plan. After pouring ourselves some wine at my apartment, we brainstormed ideas. We need evidence, solid proof to get Mike to back off and maybe even turn him in. Emma looked deep in thought. What if I agree to meet the blackmailer in person with the money? I immediately shook my head. It's too dangerous. What if something happens? She smiled. That's why we pick a public place, full of people. It minimizes the risk. It made sense, but still, I felt a pang of anxiety. Okay, but I don't want you going alone. We need a backup plan. After some thought, a name came to mind. Derek. He can help. He's got all that audio-visual equipment for his documentary projects. Emma's eyes lit up. That's a brilliant idea. If Derek can record the whole thing, we'll have the evidence we need. The next day, I approached Derek with our plan. After hearing the whole story, he was quick to offer his support. Consider it done, Lisa. No one messes with my friends. Feeling slightly better with Derek on board, Emma sent a text, agreeing to the blackmailer's terms and setting up the meeting in a local park, a place buzzing with families and joggers. The day arrived quicker than I'd hoped. Emma looked calm, but the nervous tapping of her foot betrayed her anxiety. As she sat on a park bench with an envelope of fake money, Derek took his position a distance away, concealed behind some bushes with his camera. After what felt like hours, I saw Mike approaching. Every fiber of my being screamed to confront him, but I held back, knowing it was crucial to capture this moment. Got the money? His voice was cold, detached. Emma handed him the envelope. Just promise this ends now. He smirked, flipping through the fake bills. Of course, sweetheart, as long as I get what I want. From my hidden spot, rage bubbled within me. But seeing Derek give me a thumbs up from his position, I knew we had everything we needed. As Mike walked away, smug and satisfied, I felt a mixture of triumph and sadness. Triumph for having the evidence against him, and sadness for the brother I once knew. The morning sun was still rising as Emma and I found ourselves outside the local police station, the cold evidence in hand. The weight of what we were about to do felt immense, yet there was no turning back now. We took a deep breath and went in. The police listened intently to our story, their faces growing grimmer with every word. When Derek's footage was played, the reality of Mike's deeds became irrefutable. A few hours later, I found myself back at our family home, the sounds of sirens in the distance drawing nearer. As they pulled up and Mike was taken away in handcuffs, the look of shock and devastation on my parents' faces was heart-wrenching. Why, Mike? Why would you do this? Mom's voice trembled, tears streaming down her face. It was just business, Mom. Dad looked at him, his disappointment palpable. This isn't the son I raised. Despite the hurt and anger, there was a unanimous feeling in the room. Mike needed help. We'll get him the therapy he needs, Dad finally declared. Days turned into weeks. As life began to return to some semblance of normalcy, Emma and I met for coffee. The same cafe where this whole ordeal began, but this time, the mood was different. Thank you, Emma whispered, holding back tears. I don't know what I would have done without you. I gave her hand a reassuring squeeze. That's what friends are for. We both paused, taking in the moment. You know, Emma began, this whole mess made me realize something. Life will throw challenges, even betrayals, our way. But it's the people we choose to keep by our side that matter. I nodded in agreement. Loyalty, trust, friendship. These are the ties that bind. And no matter what, we have each other's backs. As we left the cafe, arm in arm, the sun shining brightly overhead, I felt grateful. Grateful for the lessons learned, for friendships strengthened, and for the hope of better days ahead. The story has come to its end, folks. Do you believe there's ever a justification for blackmail, even if someone believes it's their only way out? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel for more content like this.